Well, good Tuesday morning to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful, rainy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. How you guys like that? My kids love that. Rest, isn't just a right. I have the right to rest. Rest isn't just a right. It's a responsibility. I want to address this morning because, especially for those that I regularly coach when we first meet one another, one of the common issues with most every high performer in any industry is the inability to recognize the responsibility you have to rest. Now, when I say high performers, let me give you the foundation of what I'm talking about so that you can understand. The difference between a high performer and a low performer is the effort extended intelligently on the correct activities. What does that mean? That means you can have somebody who is really working very hard, expending a lot of energy, and yet they're investing that time and effort and energy on the wrong things, or not the most important things. So the rule that we work off of, Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist years ago, who came up with this 80-20 principle as it applies in business or in your life, says this: 20% of your activity produces 80% of your result. The challenge is the 20% stuff is typically the hard stuff, the not so fun stuff, the not so comfortable stuff, the stuff that doesn't give you goosebumps or make you feel warm and fuzzy. It's the work. The 80% is the result that shows up because of the work. That's the fun stuff. That's the easy stuff. That's the stuff that gives you goosebumps and juices you and makes you feel pumped and excited. That's the fun stuff. That's why the majority of people will spend their days doing the 80% stuff and be worn out and yet not accomplish what they intended to accomplish. That's low performance. High performance is connected to the ability to acknowledge what it is actually that is your 20% activity. So for those of you who are in real estate coaching, it's 5 simple things: lead generate, lead follow up, negotiate contracts, go on appointments, and practice and role play your conversations to articulate complicated situations in a way that people really connect with and understand, versus talking over people's heads. So we know what our 20% stuff is. So as a high performer, one of the biggest traps of high performers is this: when you become a high performer and your work is excellent, you will be in demand. When you are in demand, the only commodity you truly have left to exchange in the marketplace for income for you and your family is time. Money can be made and lost. If you lose it, you can make it back again. Okay, so that is a replaceable asset. When it comes to time, this is the most precious asset you possess because it is irreplaceable. So becoming very protective of your time is a key factor, and most top performers will not take the time to actually rest because they are constantly performing. And the challenge with most top performers are they may be the number one sales guy, but their marriage is a wreck. Maybe the number one sales girl, but her health is a wreck. Maybe the number one person in the company, but they are burnt out, frazzled, on edge, stressed out, and the only thing that can help is Xanax and red wine. So the challenges that accompany high performance is the ability to build a committed boundary for rest as a responsibility. When I talk about rest as a responsibility, here's what I mean by that. I'm an etymology student. I love studying words. When you look at the word recreation, if you were to break it down into 2 parts, it's very simple. Recreation. You see, at some point you drive so hard that your performance and excellence and mental acuity begin to wane, and you no longer are able to perform at the high level, other than the fact that you are so good at what you do that it's become a natural thing for you to flow in, almost an unconscious incompetence. However, without that ability to physically and mentally rest, you will reach burnout. It's just the way that it is. That's just the way that the human body was created. So rest is not only a right that some people have, it's a responsibility. Another reason why top performers refuse to rest is because when they rest, they must self-reflect on what it is they have been sacrificing in other areas of their life in order to have outrageous performance numbers. Let me say that again. One of the other reasons high performers refuse to rest is because in that quiet, in that silence that accompanies rest and stillness of spirit, you are confronted with the realities of what you have been compromising in the other areas of your life. The price others have been paying that you don't have to think about when you are in your craft, practicing your craft. One of the things that struck me 18 years ago when I heard Gary Keller speak for the first time at Keller Williams, he said the first thing he does when he plans his next year calendar, the first things that go into his calendar are his vacation days. And I remember thinking to myself, that's crazy. That the first thing he does is plan his vacation days. And he does. And he said it. This is why. He said, because number one, here's a condition. If you are doing what you are supposed to be doing, you can count on two things. Number one, you're going to need it. And number two, baby, the money will be there. When you're doing what you are supposed to be doing, the way you are supposed to be doing it, performing at a high level, you will need your rest. Now, everyone has a different rest run cycle depending on how hard you are focused on what it is that you are doing. And yet, without the ability to create a boundary, burnout becomes your future. And when you hit burnout, this is when your body says, if you're not listening to all the signals going on, we're going to get sick and we're going to shut you down and keep you in bed for 3 or 4 days. Now, let me put this out there. How many of you high performers that listen to this are willing to say, yep, that happened to me before. Yep, I did that. Yep, I got stuck in that. Yep. You see, your body's going to get the 3 or 4 or 5 days it needs one way or another. It's either going to get it when you go to Cancun for 3 or 4 days, or it's going to get it when it locks you in bed with a fever for 3 or 4 days. My question to you is, where do you want that 3 or 4 days to be spent? In bed, asleep, miserable? Or maybe in Cancun? Maybe at the coast? Maybe somewhere that you can get refreshed? You see, either way, your body's going to get the time it needs. Why not choose the more beautiful place while you're feeling healthy? So here's my charge to you today. If you do not have rest built into your schedule, I am going to challenge you to write rest in your schedule here's my condition, if and only if you are truly committed to executing at a high level your 20% activities and you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis so that you earn the right to rest. Reason number 3 that a lot of people will not rest is because in the back of their mind, they feel they don't deserve it. They look busy. Everybody thinks they're busy. They say, wow, they're so busy, but they're not busy about the correct activities. And when they're at work, they're halfway at work because their mind is at home. And when they're at home, they're halfway at home because their mind is at work because they're not fully executing, being fully present in either one of those arenas. So in the back of their head, subconsciously, they don't feel like they deserve to rest because they're kind of resting at home and kind of resting at work. So rest, it's not just a right, it's a responsibility. One of the things I loved when I was selling homes for 18 years before I took on the coaching role is I had a conversation with all of our sellers. And I would say, the reason that I submit offers that are submitted after Friday on Monday is because we don't get lowball offers over the weekend because people are concerned that someone is going to outsell them. And quite frankly, when I go up and negotiate against a guy who's been working for the last 18 days, living off of Big Macs and milkshakes, sleeping erratically, overweight, upset, frustrated, and stressed, and I've had my Sunday off, it is not a fair fight. I whooped that boy every single time in negotiations, every single time, because I'm fresh, I'm on, I'm ready to rock and roll, I'm fired up, I'm charged up, I have recreation, I have recreated myself in that day, and I have restored my energy mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I am a new guy every week. So rest, it's not just a right that some people have, it's a responsibility. So I'm going to challenge you to earn your rest, schedule your rest, and then honor yourself by resting. Pick a time, pick a place. Hey, it's scary in real estate. You know why? Because you can go 24/7. There is no real estate's over right now. You have to have a boundary for yourself to protect your own health and to be able to be truly fiduciary to your clients by being as sharp as you absolutely and positively can be, because you've learned the art of taking care of you and learning the responsibility you have of resting. Hope you guys take this to heart and schedule some rest time. Have a good day.